And this guy's personal life is a total disaster.
Does this make me look fat? Might be the most difficult question ever. I mean, do you tell the truth? A Republican will say, yeah, you're a pig, I'm divorcing you. A Democrat would say, I love plus sizes. And of course, an independent would say, define fat. I don't want to offend anybody. But sometimes it's what you don't say that speaks volumes about who you are.
For all of the above reasons, I respectfully decline to answer the questions under the rights and privileges afforded. This will be my answer to any further questions.
Oh, before I forget, a quick reminder to subscribe. It's free, and every time someone subscribes, Tiny Fingers puts his pants. So thank you.
I know he's in line to be Attorney General, and we want to put more light on it.
Because he's such a firebrand, because
Correct.
he's so MAGA, he's so far to the right.
That's Fox and Friends, one of Trump's favorite shows, because they do whatever they're asked to do. I mean, Brian Kilmeade has his head so far up Donnie's bum that he can kiss Sean Hannity on the lips.
I could absolutely see him go now. You know what? It would be great to have German generals that actually do what we asked them to do, knowing that's a third, maybe not fully being cognizant of the third rail of German generals were Nazis.
But Fox News is more than just a propaganda machine for MAGA and these half-wit terrorists.
What would solve the whole thing in the border if they would just start shooting? Only shoot a couple and they would go home.
Fox News lies of omission peril not only the country, but on a human level, terrorize women.
Also, another controversial cabinet hopeful appeared on Capitol Hill today. Defense Secretary nominee Pete Hegseth.
Did you sexually assault a woman in Monterey, California?
The matter was fully investigated, and I was completely cleared, and that's probably legal.
Trump allies are weighing in.
I don't know the young lady, I don't know the whole situation, but I believe he's going to be just fine. I think as he goes through this process, you're going to hear more and more about the actual what took place, and you guys will find out that the guy's a solid individual.
Now, Hegseth has some selling to do. Fox is told that GOP senators are more willing to consider him than Gates. Brett?
Chat program live on the Hill. Chad, thanks.
That's all Fox News had to say about this guy, Pete Hegseth, a former Fox on-air suck-up who now faces sexual assault accusations and some pretty damning details. But you won't hear it on Fox.
I think that maybe an important perspective or one way to look at this, to just show how absurd of a nomination this is let's look at this story from Pete Hegseth's perspective. Like, here's what Pete Hegseth is pitching people what happened in this situation. In this situation, he's drunk at a conservative conference. At 1:30 a.m., he's screaming about how he has freedom of speech and berating a hotel staffer. Then he takes a woman back to his hotel room for what he says is consensual sex. At the moment that that's happening, he is in between marriages. I think actually he's still technically married to his second wife, but that marriage is they're getting divorced because he had a child with someone that works for him, who then became his third wife. And in the meantime, he's drunkenly, doing whatever with the woman, Jane Doe, who's alleged sexual assault and what he says is consensual at a hotel in California. That he's under the age of 40. I mean, I'm not judging anybody that's been divorced or whatever. Like, this guy's life is a disaster. And this guy's personal life is a total disaster. And he has a love child, and he's in between marriages, and he's drunkenly shouting at hotel staff, and he's having another affair, meanwhile, with not one of the three women that are his wives. And so it's like, somebody whose personal life is that much of a disaster, would you want them in one of the most important jobs in the world? I mean, maybe if they had the resume for it and they demonstrated the judgment in their work life they haven't shown in their personal life. But he's a talk show host. He's a weekend morning talk show host. Like, this is a preposterous pick on every level. Like, he's not qualified for the job, and the judgment that he's shown privately leaves much to be desired. The only cover that he had for this nomination was the existence of Matt Gaetz, which is now gone because the people on the Hill, the Republicans on the Hill, hated Matt Gaetz. So now that this sees the light of day, I don't know what the pitch. I just gave you the pitch for Pete Hegseth. Like, what is the pitch that he has to offer that he should be in charge of the Pentagon?
Fox is staying quiet, as they tried to do while defending Rapey McForehead.
So what's the word in the Senate about these confirmations? Well, I think the word ought to be, Jesse, that every single one of these nominees needs to have a confirmation hearing as quickly as possible. My plan is to support all of them, and I would just say to my Senate colleagues, listen, let these guys testify. Give them a shot. I know some of these Senate GOP folks are saying, oh, I've got concerns. That's what a hearing is for. Don't go out and bash these people until you've at least allowed them to make their case. And listen, I mean, I think they've got momentum. I thought the meeting today with Gates went great, and it's full steam ahead.
So some of these guys, even not having a hearing, maybe not even met Matt Gaetz, they're just no's?
You know, I've read about my colleagues, some of them here in the Senate, who say we've got deep concerns. Of course, I'm reading all of the slander and garbage in the press about Gates and others.
Now, over the last 4 years, how many times has Fox discussed Joe Biden smelling a woman's hair?
There's something sad, pathetic really, about watching a 76-year-old man apologize for not understanding selfie culture. You'd hope your own golden years would be a little more dignified than that. When the story first broke that Biden had been passing out Eskimo kisses and sniffing other people's hair, it was irresistible. You couldn't not laugh at it, and we heartily did. We mocked Joe Biden as a compulsive hugger, a cuddler run amok. It was too amusing.
This is classic whataboutism. A 77-year-old man that Fox says is senile sniffs a woman's hair in public, and that's the equivalent of Trump's list of assaults backed by his admonition that he's untouchable?
I'm going to do it whether the women like it or not.
Now, Fox News attacked Anthony Weiner, a Democrat, as they should have, and Bill Clinton, who deserved it as well. But what Fox didn't do is apply the same diligence to Trump's sexual behavior, both with Stormy Daniels, which he denied.
Drop your pants. Prove that I'm lying. Prove I didn't see your dick.
And the 20 women who say they were assaulted by him, most notably Jean Carroll. Fox has an agenda, and it's not protecting women from sexual assault. It's enabling men who assault women.
You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the pussy.
That was a beginning for most of us. I figured Trump was a scumbag, but that day the ET story broke illustrated how deep inside Trump's bum Murdoch and his band of ass-kissing Botox creatures actually were. And later, it all made sense, hearing the many stories of Trump's assaults and how similar they were, including Jean Carroll's story, which rang true enough that a jury ruled that she was in fact assaulted and defamed after Trump called her a liar, and worse.
I have absolutely no idea who this woman is.
But the latest from the Gates and Hegseth accusations reveal an outstanding indifference to women who are sexually assaulted and then ignored by men like those at Fox News.
She's going to get paralyzed in the Situation Room while the generals have their way with her. And I heard the scientists say the other day that when a man votes for a woman, he actually transitions into a woman.
I want to grab pussy.
The evidence against Gates was strong and voluminous. Witnesses, video, money trail. But Hannity and the rest of Fox News treated it like a he said, she said. I mean, this guy was this close to being the highest-ranking law enforcement official in the U.S. Only the bravery of these young women protected the rest of America's women. And Fox News attacked Stormy Daniels many times, which led to her fearing for the life of her children as well as herself.
And a guy walked up on me and said to me, leave Trump alone, forget the story. And then he leaned around and looked at my daughter and said, a beautiful little girl, it'd be a shame if something happened to her mom. And then he was gone.
Pete Hegseth is not the right guy for this moment, or any moment. These charges aside, his tattoos indicate a religious nationalist bent that is blatantly unconstitutional and definitely not what a Secretary of Defense should be saying.
If you don't like our religion, then we don't want you in our country.
Trump, however, like he did Gates, believes he's found a kindred spirits of sorts, an anti-woke say anything you want man's world BS. And Fox is silent. While Democrats attack Joe and Mika and Bezos and the Washington Post, Fox News has Hannity, Waters, and Ingram all doing Trump's dirty work. And the Republican Party, along with MAGA, embrace this virulent misogynistic message coming from Fox and the conservative boy talk radio. And that message is silence. Silence to sexual assault, racism, sexism, science, and violence.
I don't know if I'll do the fighting myself or if other people will.
We need to be the voice for all women. 20 years ago, Rush Limbaugh called 10-year-old Chelsea Clinton a dog.
The cute kid. Let's take a look and see who is the cute kid in the White House. No, that's not the kid. That's the kid. We try to.
And then Sandra Fluke, a slut.
What does it say about the college co-ed Susan Fluke, who goes before a congressional committee and essentially says that she must be paid to have sex? What does that make her? It makes her a slut, right?
I am proud to announce tonight that you will be receiving our country's highest
civilian honor, the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Now women are again under fire, and the last thing we need is a Secretary of Defense to be the one who's attacking them.
Damn right. This is not a normal election.
This isn't their Republican Party anymore.
Whether the women like it or not.
Suck my fat one.
Who's with me?
Trust me.
Shut the f*** up, Darren.
Who's with me? Oh, yeah, the lie.
Indictable.
Out of sheer morbid curiosity, I'm allowing this freak show to continue.
I don't want to talk about this stuff.
Am I wrong?
Yes.
Tick-tock!
You're in a lot of trouble, Donnie.
I think he's crazy.
I'm Chip Franklin.